The busiest travel day of the year, and it may also be one of the most talked about.
People have been talking about this for weeks leading up to it, from the new invasive pat-downs to the full-body scanners. If you're going to fly, get ready for longer lines and delays. Kate Whiteout live at ABIA this morning with the details. Hi, Kate.
Good morning. Well, I know a lot of people obviously booked the first flight out because check out behind me down at the Southwest ticket counter. Lots of folks already lining up outside, and certainly a busy place already out here this morning. And, you know, there have been a lot of questions about these new security measures, like why is it taking place? Does it violate my constitutional rights? And what do I do if I don't want to get that invasive pat down? Well, this morning we hope to answer some of those questions.
TSA didn't wake up and say, well, let's start doing full body, pat downs. They're dealing with a very specific and viable threat that's probably very, very serious.
Former CIA and Secret Service agent Fred Burton knows the inner workings of gathering secret government intelligence. As the vice president of intelligence at Stratfor, he's analyzed what's led to these new security procedures.
Remember, governments are reactionary. Very rarely are they proactive.
And the government is reacting after a man placed a bomb in his underwear last Christmas on a flight headed into Detroit. It never went off, and now new intelligence is finding it could happen again. But the body scanners may not be the answer.
The vulnerability with the full body scanners is this, to be blunt. You can still put an IED inside a body cavity, and these machines won't find them.
The only way to find them outside of doing a cavity search are bomb-sniffing dogs. ABIA is using them. Then there's the new invasive pat-down.
Is targeting explosives, soft explosives that can be carried on the body.
TSA has the right to strip search based on reasonable suspicion, but when you see video of a young boy being patted down or a grandmother, it's not uncommon to ask why.
Unfortunately, we cannot do profiling. And that's the problem. In essence, they are looking for a needle in a haystack, so they have to screen every passenger to that threshold.
That's why a Virginia man made this simple one-page website asking Americans to opt out of body scans on Wednesday. Instead, he wants travelers to opt for a pat-down, so they'll write their Congress member to call for a change. But those protests could make for a longer wait in security.
If an individual wants to protest while they're going through as a passenger, the people it's going to hurt is the other passengers.
And if you opt out of the pat-down,
we'll make sure we escort them to the exit lane and walk them out of the airport. They won't fly.
In other words, if you don't play by their rules, you don't fly this holiday. And you can also be fined up to $11,000 as well if you decide you don't want to go through with the security procedures if you've already opted out of those full-body scanners. Now, while here at ABIA, they don't have the full-body scanners at this time simply because the floor will not support the weight of the scanners. You could encounter those on your way back home after Thanksgiving travel. Now, the only way you're going to get that invasive pat-down here at ABIA likely is if you go through the metal detectors and set them off twice. Then you will be subjected to that invasive pat-down. But they also tell us if you're wearing baggy clothing, they could also pat you down as well because they can't see the contour of your body. So just keep in mind, basically, the security procedures are, certainly going to be a lot different this time around.
Absolutely. Kate, are they expecting, you think, any protesters out there?
Well, they're not sure if there are going to be any organized protesters coming out here for that opt-out day, but they are prepared. So they say they're not going to let people inside the airport with signs because they don't want it to cause a disruption. So anyone who wants to protest, they're going to ask them to move down to 71 in Presidential Boulevard, basically the main entrance to the airport.
Far, far away from the actual airport. All right, Kate, thank you so much for that.